You guys, in this video, we're gonna be talking about how to actually test new products that you wanna use on your Shopify dropshipping store. I know this is a topic a lot of you guys have been asking about. This is definitely super relevant, super important, so I wanna cover it. We're actually gonna be jumping into my computer. I got a good amount of notes right here that we'll be covering throughout this, so I'm excited to get inside of there and give you guys some value. But before we do that, I wanted to share something interesting with you. I looked at my analytics on this YouTube channel, and did you know the 66.3% of you who are watching this right now, on average, are not subscribed? So, if you haven't already, I'm asking one favor of you this video. Be sure to join the family and hit that nice looking subscribe button down below. I'm really trying to break 12,000 subs this month. That would actually be insane. The original goal is only 8,000. You guys already smashed that, so you know we gotta aim bigger and higher. 50K by the end of the year, the road to 50K. We're going at it. With that being said, let me give you guys some value. So let's jump into my computer. So testing products, huge, super important. Gotta know this stuff. It's gonna be very relevant to everything you're doing every single day. Because like we said, actually knowing how to do this and doing it effectively the right way, which there is a right and wrong way. I'm gonna explain. I don't want to say there's right and wrong way because there's so many different ways to do Shopify, but this is how I do it. This is what's proven to be the most effective for me by far with all of my stores across multiple different niches. So if that doesn't say something, I don't know what will. But once you identify a product that you want to be running, whether that's, we had a research video on how to pick your products, but high order volume, whatever product you've identified as something that has the potential to sell, is already selling, whatever that may be for you, you're gonna need to test it, okay? And the best way to test that product is with Instagram. Okay, Facebook's great. If you know how to do Facebook, you're a master at Facebook, or you consider yourself one and you can get results, you can jump right in and start testing with that, no problem. But Instagram for sure. This is how I test it. 2 shoutouts on Instagram, okay? So that means 2 separate pages. I can't even spell, holy crap. Separate pages. And the reason, wow, I still spelled it wrong. Okay, the reason for this is because I want to test 2 completely different audiences. We made the picking pages video. Obviously, you guys know how to pick that, but at the end of the day, there's no 100% guarantee, so you want to test 2 different traffic sources. Then, what you're doing off of this is going to be 2 posts, okay? So, 1 on each page. But the difference, this is where I see, I don't want to say people going wrong, but this is where I get more effective results because I love isolating this variable, is those 2 posts are going to be different, right? And what I mean by this is different picture, right? That could mean copy. So saying something different, when we made the video on how to actually make the post for Instagram, I'm saying like the words that are going on that. And then, because that's obviously a different type of post. You want a different picture. Maybe if, I'm looking around for a product, if you have 2 different colored products, a purple shirt and a blue shirt, run different colors, different types of pictures and say a different thing on the picture. And then you want to mess with your ad copy, okay? This could mean different emojis inside of there. Completely different script, flip it. Like we've talked about, there's 2 sorts of biases you can use to hook people to actually continue reading your ad and really see what it's all about. Social bias and emotional bias. Maybe try one where you do emotional and one where it's social, and you can obviously make the picture congruent with that. That's huge. This is how I test it. Let me say, this stuff works, okay? And when you're testing on 2 different pages, you get 2 different traffic sources. And the reason specifically why I'm doing 2 completely different posts on 2 different pages is because the post itself could be a variable as to why it didn't work. It's not necessarily always just the page, like the traffic source's fault. So when it comes to this stuff, that's how I'm testing it. And I want them to be different to isolate the variables. You don't want to test too many things at once. So that's why I'm testing 2 different pages, and they're gonna be 2 completely different types of posts, different saying, like ad copy and everything like we just talked about, for the same exact product, okay? If that makes sense, I hope it does. It should. It makes perfect sense to me. That's not it, because now we're gonna talk about Facebook. Once you find a product that works, whether that's already based on your Facebook results, because that's what you started with, or if you did all this stuff up here with Instagram, now how you're gonna really test that and see if it's a product that has the scale potential, that's what I like to call it, you're gonna use Facebook for that. So what I like to do is 1 campaign, and we got videos going through this, don't worry you guys, we're breaking this step by step down for all you, showing you the exact blueprint we use for all of our stores, and this stuff works, I'm telling you. 1 campaign, and you're gonna have 3 different ad sets for that campaign, okay? And I've explained this in videos, the difference between those 3 ad sets is simply gonna be the interest. Very little is gonna change. Maybe one of them is gonna target the 5 main English speaking countries. The other 2 are just gonna target the US. And the goal with these is to cast a wide net. And the reason for that is very simple. Data. All right, we've talked about it, super huge, is how I run things. I want to cast a wide net in the beginning to get the data. That way I can, I'll run it from 18 to 65 plus, okay? 18, 65 plus. It's gonna, depending on the product, if it's just a female product or just a male product, you can stick with the gender for only one, but both male and female, okay? I run both. I wanna see who's interacting with it better, who gets the most clicks, most add to carts, most conversions, everything for whatever type of event and result you're actually going for with the campaign. So this also shows me what platform and device, which you just hit the breakdown tab for that, which we talk about in videos. It's super simple. I don't know what I'm trying to type after that, but no, the breakdown tab, definitely super key, because then you can identify all these different variables, figure out where they're coming from. Mobile, and is that mobile from Android or for iPhone? I know people who are doing, let me try and give you an example, iPhone cases, right? But they're still targeting Android users. How does that even make sense? Like, what are you doing, you know? Those people don't even have iPhones, so they're not compatible with the product, you know? So it doesn't make sense. You don't want to be wasting your money. Don't allocate capital where it's not effective. That's my biggest thing. That's why I love working based on data. I like seeing the hard numbers, seeing the results, and seeing all that. It's really not that hard when it comes to just casting a wide net like we just talked about, and I like to funnel towards what's working. So once I have a campaign, let's say I have let me bring this full circle for you real fast. All right, Instagram, 2 shout outs, okay? You start making some sales, it's profitable, okay? So you're making a profit on the product. Now, you obviously want to test that on other pages and really make sure, bigger pages, other pages, make more money, more sales, and really identify if it's, oh, my lights went out, if it's a product that works or not, okay? And then with Facebook, you're gonna wanna then test that product with 1 campaign, 3 ad sets, just different targeting. 1 could be a lookalike audience, 2 could be cold, it's technically still warm, targeted traffic, where you're trying 2 different types of audiences, and you cast a wide net. Look at the data based on that from the breakdown tab. Super simple, you just hit it on the ad set level itself and you go through it. We'll definitely show you guys all that. But in the platform and device, that's the biggest thing that I'm not gonna say the biggest thing, but that's huge. I like to know, are they coming from mobile or desktop? Because when I'm casting a wide net, I'm not narrowing it by that. When I do edit placements, I do remove the other 2. I'm only doing Facebook and Instagram. That for me is the only ones that are effective at all. Don't wanna waste my money, that's definitely a big thing I'm kind of stingy about. I don't want Facebook to waste my money, so if I know I can prevent that while still casting a wide net and getting data, I'm definitely gonna do it. So platform and device, that's gonna show you Facebook, Instagram, are they coming from mobile, desktop? What type of mobile device, what type of, I don't wanna say desktop, I mean laptop, desktop, are they coming from an iPad? It literally shows you all of that. And then based on that, build 1 more, and I build another one off of that. The goal with this is not to make money, with this middle step right here. You don't want to make money, obviously you do, but you want to get the data so that you can build 1 more that makes money. That's the whole goal, right? So then with that data, you can go over and build a campaign targeted around what worked, okay? So let's say you saw that you casted a wide net and women from 25 to 34, women 25 to 34 were the people, you got 2 purchases, okay? Let's say you were overall at a loss, you get 2 purchases, but those 2 purchases were from women 25 to 34 on Instagram, on an iPhone, right? Very realistic, that could happen, it's happened, okay? Now, you wanna make a completely separate campaign, and by the way, I didn't cover this, this one's gonna be a $5 a day budget. That's it, and we'll explain why in a second, but okay, so then with this test, I will immediately launch that with $5 a day budget. And if it continues to make sales, if I can type that out, duplicate, even if it's only a break even or at a slight loss, duplicate it and run that at $10 a day. And the reason I do this, even if it makes no sense, it's at a loss or break even or whatever, I do it because it works. Facebook is all sorts of fucked up when it comes to this stuff. I don't fully understand the algorithm or whatever, but I personally, with my different niches in multiple stores, this is what my mentor Will, who we're throwing on a couple videos inside the course and everything, has told me, has understand, and we've literally tested it and it works. It's crazy. So if you're spending $5 a day on an ad, right? Let's say it gets you a couple purchases, you're at break even. Just by upping the budget, let's say you got 2 sales for $5 a day. You would think that you bring it to $10 a day, you get 4 sales. That's still a break even. Not necessarily the case. Usually your cost per conversion is gonna go way down. I don't know why, it's just kind of the sweet spot, but as you keep scaling your ads, you'll find a sweet spot where if you keep trying to spend more to get more sales, it's gonna cap out. But we'll talk about that later. This is just focused on this, okay? So right now, I'm gonna build that 1 more. okay? Just based off the data, purely off the numbers, okay? And depending on how that does, if it doesn't do well, you might want to test a different picture, different product, different ad copy, whatever. You have to go back and isolate that variable and figure out why it didn't work. But if you're looking at the data, most likely you'll see something. Ideally break even, test that with $5 a day, duplicate it, that's huge. You don't want to just change the ad budget. Duplicate that ad set. You can kill the other one or keep it running, whatever you want to do for a few days. If it's not making you money within a few days after you've already duplicated it again and moved it to 10, I would kill that original 5, but keep the $10 a day running for about 2 days. I'm gonna say 2 to 3 days. So you're only spending 20 to 30 bucks. And if it doesn't work, okay, you gotta go back through it, all the data, and figure out why. Maybe it was the product, test a different product. It was probably the audience. That's most likely gonna be the case. That's what you're gonna have to test the most. Test the most for this once you have a product, okay, because if you did the stuff we talked about with Instagram, you'll know that the product worked, okay? If you can convert a product to get sales off of Instagram, that's a lot harder than Facebook. Instagram is like super cold, untargeted traffic, whereas Facebook, you can be a lot more selective. Like look, for example, we go through here on the breakdown category, you can see all this. You can't see anything on Instagram. You don't get to select the age range, where they work, which I don't go that far down, but like their gender, you don't really get to filter through all that. So you can get really specific on Facebook and reach a lot more people. That's exactly why Facebook's where we scale. But test the most is gonna be traffic for sure. Once you have identified the product that works, but ID the product, bring that to your traffic, okay? Because traffic's what you're gonna have to test when it comes to Facebook ads. You can mess around a little bit with your ad copy, but if you're good at it and it makes sense, use a scarcity just fine and urgency, and has one of the two hooks. Remember what we've talked about, social bias or emotional. Let's say, just to give you an example, I wanna cover all bases in here. Babies. 895,000 babies die a year because of XYZ. Our product's the solution. Or don't let that happen to your child. Our product's the solution on how. You wanna say a problem. In this case, that's an emotional one. And you're the solution, okay? You have to loop it full circle and show that whatever you're offering, whatever you're trying to offer, service, product, doesn't matter. That's the solution to someone's problem or a fear that they might not even have had this fear. That's the thing. I don't know, I'm not gonna type that out, but they might not have had that fear. You put that fear in them with a hard statistic. I normally do statistics just for emotional campaigns, but it works for social as well. Let's say for social, you could say, did you know that I'm just making these up, these aren't accurate, 2.7 million teens are loners or whatever, like some sort of product on how to make friends. It really just depends on what you're advertising. Some sort of statistic that, you know, shows a hard fact. It has to be true, you can't make stuff up. And people can relate to that. You know, if you're targeting the baby stuff with hard statistics, you'd be targeting moms, mothers of newborns, okay, because they'll understand that. And it's crazy too, like just a little off topic. If you're targeting mothers of newborns, you could do CPR training for all that. I know people who do that, and these people will pay out the ass for that because obviously they don't want their babies or anything to happen to them. So you can scare them with that. You want to scare people in a good, you know, there's ethical ways to do things and there's unethical ways to do things. I always stay on the ethical line of things. I just present the statistics and show them legitimate solution. My product, my service, whatever it is the solution to their problem. Whether it's a fidget spinner, that's a solution to ADHD, right? That's what the product was originally created for. Obviously a branch beyond that, but you can target all sorts of people when it comes to focus or whatever. But recapping on all this, Instagram, 2 shout outs. Transition that to Facebook once you have a product that you know is a winner. Where do we see Facebook? Right here. 1 campaign with 3 ad sets, $5 a day at each ad set level. Let that run for 3 days. It's gonna spend 15 bucks a pop. Click the breakdown tab, go through and look at all of the data, right? Build another campaign based on data. Let it run for 2 to 3 days at $5 a day. If it's roughly break even, up that to $10 a day. Just try it, I promise. I can't promise results, but try that. That's definitely gonna be a variable you wanna play around with. Just keep testing. You know, again, identify the product and move into traffic. Then traffic's gonna be the thing you mainly have to test once you have a product you know is a winner. And just, you know, hit them with statistics. You have those 2 things, social or emotional. I don't like to do both. Someone asked, you know, wouldn't you wanna hit them from both? No, you don't wanna confuse them. You wanna send them a solid, so I talk about congruency. Everything's congruent. You wanna send them an emotional spike. Not a spike where it's like an inconsistency in something you said. Emotional spike. You don't want to be trying to confuse their feelings with emotional and social, because then it's just not going to be effective Keep it simple, straight to the point, honest, truthful, legitimate, hard statistics like we talked about. That's the most effective thing. And then you're gonna be testing products like nobody's business. I don't test too many products anymore. I'd say 1 to 2 a week. It really depends. When I'm launching Facebook campaigns, by the way, so if you're going through setting up all this stuff on Instagram, right, you find some products that work. When I transition into Facebook, every single time I do this, start it on a Monday. I personally, whenever I'm testing a new product, I see better results when I start it at the beginning of the week. So let's say you've gone through, identified a few products that work, and it's Friday. You know, I'd get the post ready, the page post, really make sure they're super quality. That gives you some time to do research and make sure they're gonna be bangers and work really well. Launch it on Monday morning, test it. That for me, just seen a lot better results. And a lot of people who are making a lot of money. Some people making, I think, just over 50 grand a day. Very consistent with e-commerce. That was one of the big things they told me. Told me a lot of interesting stuff. So that's exactly what we're trying to cover in here. I'm really trying to give you guys some value. Hard, exact information that's very practical. And this is actionable. You can go take action on this. None of this means anything if you don't take action. So I urge you to really study this. I hope it made sense. I think I did a good job of outlining everything. It's all right here for you guys. That's what I do when it comes to testing products. Super important key to Shopify dropshipping and that business model. So guys, I hope this helped you out in some way. If you can do me the favor, hit that nice looking subscribe button down below. Like I mentioned in the beginning, it would mean the world to me. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you guys for all the love and support on every video. I think we had one video, I think it was 2 videos back. It was crazy. 120 likes, 1 dislike. So shout out to the one of you who didn't like it because you let me know you didn't. So I still have work to do. I love that hate, that negativity. Not negativity, hate negativity, but honest feedback. I appreciate it. I also appreciate all the comments in every single video. You guys being interactive with each other. We got that Facebook group. I'll link that down below if you haven't jumped in there yet. Absolutely free. People are throwing value around like crazy. It's actually insane to see you guys interacting. That was my goal with it from the start. So super cool to see that becoming a reality. And if you guys enjoyed the video, you know what to do. We already talked about it. Drop a like, hit the notification, do all that other YouTuber shit. I appreciate all the attention to the videos. I'm gonna see you guys tomorrow on the next one. Peace.